Have any of you guys been to a hockey game? Whether it was because you were forced to go by a parent, or maybe you have a friend playing, or maybe you're just playing in the band. Well, while you were watching, were you wondering how someone can like a sport where you're skating around on a thin piece of metal trying to kill someone else on a large sheet of ice? Well, you'd be surprised. Hockey has been around a long time, but it wasn't until 1917 that it became a national league. Especially living in Minnesota, hockey is very popular up here. I'm guessing many of you haven't actually played the sport of hockey, but maybe you've attempted to skate in gym or play floor hockey. There are many different skills you have to develop to play the sport at a high level, but understanding the basics isn't as hard as you would think. I've been playing hockey since I was a little kid. Even though I'm not an expert at it, I have made the varsity team as a freshman and a sophomore and have developed many different skills and strategies throughout those years. Hockey is a sport that is loved and played all over the world. Today I'll be showing you some things you need to know how to snipe on some tendies. You'll be shown how to prepare for a game, some basics of the game, and many different shots that you can use to score. But before you can go out and dangle some kids, you first need to go and get prepared for the game so you can perform at your highest level. So before the game, people like to go and warm up by either shooting or puck handling, just getting a feel for the puck again. They also like to tape their stick. So I'm not going to show you how to tape a stick for time reasons, but as you can see, when you tape a stick, you want each layer to overlap, if you can see that. And then you can either go to the toe of the heel or toe of the blade and stop, or you can go here and overlap with the tape, and then you would cut it off. And you can go to your desired length. You can have it short like that or longer up the blade. And then, once you have your twig all taped up, you need to get your gear on. The first thing you would put on is your greasers, which are basically just large shorts with pads, so you can protect your thighs from getting hit from the puck. And then after that, you would put on your shin pads to protect from getting hit with the puck again, and then would go with the skates. And once you get the skates on, you'd like to put on your shoulder pads and elbow pads, and then to throw over that, you would put on your jersey. And then once you get that on, you have to throw on your socks too, which I forgot to mention, but those are like basically just covers to cover up your pad. So just go over your shin pad. And then, once you have your elbow pads on your jerseys, you would throw on your helmet, and then your gloves, and you should be ready to go out and warm up on the actual ice. And while you do that, you just go around pretty much to get a feel for the ice and skate around, shoot on a real goalie. So once you get all your gear on and warm-ups are done, you should be ready to go snipe. But it would be a good idea to have a little understanding of what you can or can't do to avoid getting stuck in the box. It'd be a good idea to know about the penalties before you go out there. To talk about the penalties I'm going to be talking about today, some of them are the major and minor penalties. To start off, one of the minor penalties you can get is high sticking, which is if you're basically skating and your stick accidentally flies up and hits the opponent above the shoulder pads or in the head. That's a minor penalty. Another one is holding, which I'm not going to demonstrate, but you basically just hug them and prevent them from moving. Similar to that is hooking. So say they're skating, you use the blade of your stick to hook them and prevent them from skating, and that would be a penalty. Another one is cross-checking, which is when you have both your hands on the stick and you hit them with the middle of your blade. You can't do that. That can sometimes be a major. There's also tripping, which is one of the main penalties that happens. Say you're skating and you hit their shin on accident and they fall. That can be happening on purpose because you're mad, or it can just happen when you're going for the puck and they step on your stick, which is really annoying. Now I'll go on to some of the major penalties, and I'll only demonstrate some of them. The first one is boarding, which is when you hit or push the other player into the boards when they're like 3 feet away. So if you hit their push them, they would fall, and their head would have a risk of hitting it. That's very dangerous and could cause many injuries. The next one is slashing, which is when you basically use your stick as a sword and you chop at them anywhere, like hit them hard. A lot harder, obviously, I would hit them if you were mad. Next one is charging, and that's when you start basically at one end of the ice and use full speed to generate more power on the opponent. You're allowed to take, I believe it's 2 strides to hit, but if it's any more than that, it's charging. The next two are like the biggest ones, and it's obviously hit from behind and fighting. So when you hit from behind, when they're unguarded, this usually happens when they're going up against the boards and you can't stop your momentum. Usually they come in different varieties of like a 2 and a 10, a 5 and a 10, maybe a 5-minute or even a kick out. And when you get a 2 and a 10, you have to sit the whole 12 minutes but they also take another player from your bench to sit the 10, and then you have to sit the additional 2 with the 10. Then the last one is fighting, which is basically if you throw a punch at anyone while in front of the net or they're touching your goalie, you're automatically kicked out and probably have to sit the next couple games. And those are some of the basics of penalties. And now some of the rules of hockey that I get asked a lot when I'm on hockey player by some of my friends that they don't understand is offsides. So offsides is basically, say this is your zone. This is the opposing team zone, and right here is called the neutral zone. So if you're skating down the ice going into the opposing zone, you're not allowed to cross here unless the puck is in there. If you cross there and the puck's there, it's a penalty, or it's not a penalty. They just blow the whistle and you face off right there. Another one is icing. That's when you get right here and you dump the puck down without it touching someone else before you cross this line. Now that you understand the rules, I think it is time to show you guys some different shots you can use to bury and silly. There are like a couple different shots, but they all have very similar motions and mechanics. So the first shot is the wrist shot, which is basically when you're standing there and you transfer your momentum from your back leg to your front leg. You start at the heel and let it ride up your stick and point when you aim. Next one's a snapshot, basically the same thing. This one's usually shot on one leg like that. And you, instead of like falling through with that, you kind of smack it and let it fall through and point where you aim. The next one is a backhand. Again, you probably guessed it, start at the heel, follow through and let it fall off the blade. That one's really hard to track for the goalies, but it's also hard to aim and get power behind. And the last one is a slap shot. This is a bigger version of a snapshot, you can think. Basically raise your stick, follow through, hit it here, and let it ride up. That one usually stays low so you don't hit your teammate in the head. So now you understand the basics of the game. You can go play the game at a high level or without and understand a better understanding. As you can see, hockey is a very fun and intense sport. And now that you know some of the rules, some of the different shots, and how to prepare, you will have a better understanding of the game and can explain it with people. Even though most of you won't use this in your lifetime, I hope you at least got something out of this speech. Thank you.